Hey guys, it's Bobby with Hollow Point Shooters, and today I'm going to give you a cool little video on how to make the paracord survival bracelet or 550 cord survival bracelet. Like this here, I get a lot of people that ask, how, where do you get them at, how do you make it, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to show you guys, I'm going to give you a quick little video on how to make it. They're super easy to make. This is actually called the Cobra weave. It's super easy to do, and the whole theory behind it is it's a way to have some, it's very easy to pull apart so that you have paracord or 550 cord in the event of an emergency when you would need it. Now I think they've become more fashion than they are for what they were intended for, but whatever the case, for whatever reason that you want one and you want to know how to make one, then I'll show you how. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do is you got to make the inside part, okay? And so to do that, you have to have a good measurement of the wrist that you're going to be making the bracelet for. In this case, I'm going to make one for my wife. So what I did was I had a little piece of scrap 550 cord, and I just wrapped it around tight so that it made, that's the exact size of her wrist. Alright, so what I need to do now is I need to take a longer piece of 550 cord, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to measure her wrist. Alright, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, alright, and then I'm going to measure back, so you have to have two, alright, and then I'm going to add about 2 inches to it, okay? So if we use our finger, add about 2 inches to it, and that should give us the appropriate, let's go ahead and make this just a little bit longer. Trim this off. And then just going to tie a single hitch. Just like that. Alright. So now I've got a hitch knot there. I'm going to take this, my measuring piece again, and I'll put it back on here and see that after the knot like that, this should be enough. Alright, it's actually just a little bit too short, so I'm just going to loosen my knot up. Slide it up a little bit, just like that. Alright, and then we'll trim this up and clean it up later, but for that, that's all you need. That's your basic, your inner core. So now that we've got our inner, we need to measure how many inches it is, because that's going to determine how many feet we need for our weaving. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. So I need about 7 feet for every inch. You need a foot of 550 cord for weaving. Alright, now to begin our weaving, what you're going to need is some sort of setup to keep it tight. Okay, because you got to keep your inner core nice and tight. So I use a couple of carabiners, alright, and I'm just tying off to my reloading press for right now. But I use a couple of carabiners, and I use a real nice sturdy coat hanger. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my carabiner and I'm going to open it up and put my inner right down over top of my carabiner like that. Actually, let me do it this way. We're going to do it like this. I'm going to put it right over the top, not at the bottom. Alright, not at the bottom, and this at the top. Alright, now you have to keep it, it's hard to kind of keep it straight, but you got to keep it straight, nice and even. Alright, and then we're going to take another carabiner, put it down here on the end. Alright, and then I'm going to hook it around the coat hanger. Let me show you guys here what I'm doing. Alright, so I got my stool. I'm going to put my coat hanger right like that, and then straddle it and set on it. Alright, so you can see that it's nice and tight. Alright, so I'm ready. I've got my inner core stretched out here nice and tight. Alright, I'm ready to make my first knot, my starter knot, and then I'll begin to weave. Alright, so what you want to do is take your long piece, come up behind, make sure that it's nice and even like you would when you put your lace up your boots or shoes or whatever. You come around behind it like this. Alright, and then from the right side, you're going to loop across and make an S. See the S? Alright, you're going to make an S, and then you're going to take your left side and you're going to go down through the bottom of the S. Alright, and then back up once you're down through the bottom, back up through the top of the S, coming back behind your inner core. Alright, and then when you pull it tight, you're going to push it up nice and tight there. When you pull it tight, double check, make sure that you're even. I'm a little bit off. So just give me a second here to adjust. Close enough. Alright, so pull it nice and tight, and you can see now you have one that goes across and one that goes down. Alright, so that's what you're looking for, one across and one down. Now from here we can begin to weave. Alright, so now from here we can begin to weave. Now the trick to this is once you get your first knot, whatever side your down is on, that's the side that you're going to make the S with. So you don't have to keep remembering, because you're going to alternate back and forth. You don't have to keep remembering left, right, left, right. Whatever side your knot's on, or your down is on, that's the side that you'll make an S with. So you make your S, right, just like that, and then you're going to go down through the top of the bottom of the S, and then around behind, and then back up through this part of the S. Then this will come over, and then you tighten it down. And that's not right. Oh yeah, it is. Alright, now knots on this side, so we make the S with this side, and then we go down through the bottom of the S, and then back up through the top of the S. Alright, and then you see here we got the knot on this side, so make the S on that side, go down through the top, back up from underneath, cinch it down, and then you'll just continue to weave just like that. Alright, so I'll give you a little bit of full speed here. Alright, now once we've got it weaved down, you start getting close to this side. Alright, it's going to get a little bit tougher to make your S in there. So keep your S small. Alright, and then just the same pattern. It's just it takes a little bit more time. You can't go as fast. Down through the top, up through the bottom. Alright, then pull it tight. And then try to get one more in here. Alright, now we're completely tight down there. So now what I want to do is I want to take it off and I want to check it. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and unhook the carabiner from here. unhook from there. And what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and put one more in it. It's a little bit tougher when you don't have something to hold it on the end here, but it's doable. Alright, so I'm just going to pull it nice and tight. Now before I cut this off, I want to check and make sure that everything's going to fit. Alright, because we've got our knot on this side and we've got our knot on this side. So we want to make sure that we can fit our knot through the loop that we made. You want it to be tight, because if not, it'll fall off. Alright, and a little tip for you is if you make it a little bit bigger than what it needs to be, then you can just slide it down over your wrist, over your hand, and you don't have to undo it every time. So that one fits, and that's how it's supposed to be, right there like that. So now all we got to do is just go ahead and finish it up. To finish it up, this is as far as we're going to go to stop it. We're just going to make sure that we pull this good and tight. Alright, and then we can cut it off. Take your scissors and cut it off. Leave just a little bit of extra. Don't want to cut it off right at the flush because we got to have something to burn. We're going to melt that end off. Alright, so and then cut this side off. Just like that. Alright, and then where's my lighter? We're going to take our lighter and we're just going to burn that off of there. Now you don't want to go hardcore on it because it'll make your paracord black. Alright, so you want to melt it down. Just so I can show you here. Melt it down. But stop it before it gets real black. Alright? And then just, it's hot, so don't be careful. But if you can stand it, once it starts melting, if you push it down, what it does is it contacts that other paracord, that other piece of that 550 cord, and it seals it, melts it together. Alright, so the same thing for this side. So we're going to melt it down. Alright, and then push it over just like that, and then it contacts there and melts. Now we need to dress up this end here a little bit. What I like to do is pull them out straight. I like to leave a little bit of a flap, but I'll cut them off at like a 45-degree angle so that one's a little bit longer than the other and they're at a point. Just like that. Squeeze them together and singe it too. If you get them while they're hot, squeeze them together. Give it just a little bit more. It makes a neat little tip for it. Alright, and then you're going to want to flex it a little bit. Work some of the stiffness out of it, and then basically all you have to do is feed your knot through the loop and finished your 550 cord bracelet, cobra weave. Alright, now there's other things that you can do. You can actually buy little buckles and you can add buckles in here. You can put a button head on the knot end so that it fits through the hole a little bit better and it holds a little bit better. You can put little metal clips on it, whatever you want to do. But if you want to do that, what you're going to do is when you first start off with your inner cord, you'll just want to do some sort of weave through the buckle. Basically what you can do is, I don't have a buckle down here, but let's pretend like this gun, alright, it's unloaded, it's not loaded, but we're going to pretend like this, the trigger guard is the opening in the buckle. Alright, so you just break you pull your inner even, pull it up through it like that, and then just feed it through the other one, and then pull it tight. Alright, and you can see how that made that little half hitch loop through there. Alright, and that's all you have to do, and then you'll start your weave right at the base of that, so that way it keeps it nice and tight, and you can have, that would be your buckle, and then on the other end you just have to tie it in there, the other end of the buckle. Okay, so there's different ways that you can do different things with it. This one I just keep kind of simple. I like to use the knot. It looks more homemade, you know, more authentic looking, and it tends to work pretty good for me. So anyway, that's how you make a 550 cord bracelet. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or you have problems with it or whatever, then just go back and watch the video again, or leave me any comments or questions in the comments below. Alright, so anyway, that's all for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and click the like button. Check us out on the web, www.hollowpointshooters.org. Thanks, guys.